Hey Edsel Nation, and welcome back to an all new video here on my channel. That's a Ford Edsel Ranger. So when I got Ethel, one of the things that I thought was really rad was that it had a whole bunch of Edsel Owners Club like mail outs inside, as well as some really cool The Big E magazine copies from one of the original owners from back in the 80s. And I thought you guys might like to look inside because I really enjoyed looking at kind of just like the nostalgia and the good vibes and all the photos and people sharing their love of Edsels and the like whole community part of what it's like to be an Edsel owner. So I thought that I would share that joy with all of you guys who are watching my channel. So if you guys want to see inside all of these really cool magazines, keep watching. So these magazines are all addressed to a gentleman named Jack. I'm not going to share any more of his information because it's none of my business to do, but I thought that it was really interesting that he lives in Texas like I do, and I just feel like that's kind of more of a connection to this car. Now all of these are dated between 83 and 84. These magazines that I have three, just like the Big E magazine, but then I also have the Big E that was from the 16th annual meetup in Fort Worth, Texas, that has some information about the meetup inside that I thought was really cool. I was looking inside these magazines and I was kind of reading about them, and it was really interesting because it has a lot of really cool facts about where the magazine came from, how it started, and this little insert I'm going to read to you guys. It says the Big E, which is this magazine, is the official publication of the Edsel Owners Club Incorporated. The club is dedicated to the preservation of the Edsel, with members in all walks of life helping others in the labor of love. The Big E is edited and published by the Northwest chapters. The Edsel Owners Club was founded by Edsel Henry Ford and Perry E. Piper and was incorporated as a nonprofit organization under the laws of the state of Illinois on February 3rd, 1969. Sorry. So it's got membership dues, which were $15 per year national, plus local chapter dues as applicable. All dues should be forwarded to Ann Zimmerman, Vice President Membership. Single copy price for this was $2. Old copies prior to 1980 were $1 plus postage. So I think that's really cool that they created something. Also, I like what it stands for. You know, it's talking about community and labors of love and supporting each other from all walks of life. People who share the love of the Edsel, share the love of the, not just, you know, the fact that it's a badass car, but the history behind it and the misunderstood aura, I guess, that it carries, that we all kind of really connect to as Edsel owners. So I have a couple of these magazines. I don't have a whole bunch of them. I just have a few, and they're mostly in pretty good shape for the most part. I love all of the photos inside. The photos inside carry such good energy. It's like when you go to a car show, you know, that vibe that you can get nowhere else. That's like what draws me to car shows, is the energy that they evoke in all of us sharing our love and our passion for not just like classic cars, but just like the custom culture lifestyle in general. It just carries such a vibe of togetherness. And that's what I love about these magazines. So I'm going to start with the earliest magazine that I have, and this one is number 3, and it is from the fall of 1983, and on the cover it has a photo of an absolutely beautiful Corsair, but it has the information underneath. It says Best of Show, Phipps and Sperling's 1959 Corsair convertible. It was from the 15th National Meet in Portland, Oregon. And I thought that that was really rad that they don't just put the pictures, but they give credit. As a former pinup model, credit is super important. I'm a stickler for credit. In the front, it's got Jack Wright's little message. He was the president. This is dated September 21st, 1983. Edsel Friends, the pages following this letter will bring you all of the highlights and convention news for the 15th annual Edsel Owners Club. It's really rad. Inside, there's just so many really cool photos. I love seeing everybody in it's just so many cool things that you don't get to see anymore. That I remember when I was younger, I would look at some of my grandma's old magazines that she had, and I loved all of the photos. There was just so many just kind of like natural organic photos, where I think like when you look in magazines now, everything is so like set up for a photo shoot and edited and just Photoshop like crazy, and everything's super like, just nothing is raw, nothing's organic. And you know, I'm a big, I like raw, I like organic. That's why I like my car. One of the things in here is they have the financial report from the 15th annual Edsel Owners Club meetup, and it has like how much the expenses were. Like the entire banquet was $2,500. The trophies were $775. The glasses were $150. They have like everything listed for a grand total of $7,300. The Oregon chapter still has some glasses, patches, t-shirts, and a few dash plaques for sale. I don't know if they still do, guys. This was from 1983, so I don't think I'd reach out. But inside they also have some really cool awards, special awards. Fritz and Dora Sanders got a plaque for driving an Edsel to all 15 national meets. Perry and Bernice Piper got a plaque for attending all 15 national meets. Dave Sinclair got the Founders Trophy. Max Miller, Mike Reed, Ferran Brower, they all got Gold Key Awards. I just think that this is really rad. Watson of Illinois won a 2 free night stay in a presidential suite. That's poppin' for sure. Inside though, I'm telling you, these pictures are too rad. And of course, everything's in black and white. But look at how excited everybody is. Look at how happy. Look at this dude. He is living his best life. Sandra Zimmerman, Perry Piper, Gaylor's granddaughter, and Truman King in the background. Love it. This girl, Dave, look at this chick. Looks like she's got her feet in a bathtub. I've been there. I've been there. She must have been walking around looking at the Edsels all day. But it's full of super rad photos. You guys see that? Super rad photos. Just let you take a look at everybody having a good time. Everybody with their trophies. Super, super cool. I absolutely adore it. Jeanne Phipps and Bill Gregory, old timers most improved. Look at that style. Look at that swag. Can't touch that shit these days. Dave Sinclair, there he is with his Founders Trophy. Check him out. I wonder what Dave Sinclair is doing now. If anybody knows what Dave Sinclair is doing now, let him know. Okay, also, this is really cool. I have to show you guys. So these pictures caught my attention because one of this guy is like stripping. He's got his drawers down and like his booty's hanging out. And it says, Randy Brown went to a lot of trouble trying to retrieve his spinner hubcap that crossed 4 lanes of traffic and then landed in a swampy ditch. He wasn't about to leave it behind, so had to go in swimming after it. He had the help of his wife and Russ Waterhouse. Randy happens to be one of Seattle's newest members. It's quite obvious he's going to be a real Edsel enthusiast. Look at this guy. Jumping in to get his spinner. Look, there's the booty. It's hanging out. Can't look at that, sorry. How awesome is that? That would be me. I would dive in right after it too. So this is a really cool piece right here. Passion for the car that no one wanted. And it says the typical Edsel can cost anywhere from $35 to $3,500 today, depending on its condition, said Perry Piper of the West Liberty, 3rd founder of the Edsel Owners Club, to which Riken belongs. If you need a good second car, buy an Edsel. Drive it for 10 years and it will be worth more than it is today. That's true. They're all, like, every time I look in the groups, the price of buying them is going up and up and up because the car that nobody wanted is all of a sudden a very unique prize that everybody is looking for. One of my favorite parts of the magazine is in the back. It has the Edsel Exchange cars wanted and for sale, and it shows right in here. it says wanted for 1958 Ranger 4-door hardtop. They need the Ranger script for right fender. They need the top rearmost paint divider chrome, set of 4 new bumper guard pads, and then they have the person's information. But what also is really fun is they have merch. Like if you look in any modern hot rod magazine, there's always the page in the back that like has the t-shirts, the hats, the koozies, and they have that on here. They have like super badass t-shirts, they have hats, they have patches, but I really love the official Edsel Owners Club jewelry because they have some really cool stuff. They have like gold-filled cufflinks for 15 bucks. They have clip-on earrings for $6.50. I need a set of those. But it's just really cool that they have all, like, it's really fun to look at all the nostalgia from the past. And it's really, I mean, it's a little ways back depending on who you ask, but this is just from 1983. It's not like crazy long ago. But then they also have want ads if you want to. Cars for sale must have price quotation with ad. Members get an ad for $3 for 35 words or less. Non-members for $5. Parts needed for $1 for 20 words. If you want your photos used, add $3 per issue. And I just think that that's really rad that all of this is in here. So this one's really cool. It's volume number 4 from the winter of 83-84. And on the front, you have Dave Sinclair, who we saw in the last one, from the Gem State Chapter, Meridian, Ohio, recipient of Founders Trophy, 15th National Meet in Portland, Oregon. But what's really cool about this one is it is a calendar. Check this out. And I thought it was really rad that the 59 Ranger 4-door was in January, and that's my car, and that's my birthday is right here. It was a Friday in 1984, although I wasn't born. I wasn't born yet. I wasn't born until 89. But that's okay. I got an old soul. So I thought that this was really rad that it has, look, oh, right here though, 1956, Cone and Belding named advertising agency for the e-car. So that's really neat. 1957 announcement of Edsel's 18 models in 4 series. Not only is this a calendar, but it literally celebrates important days for the Edsel. This is really rad. April, on Sunday, 1984, April 15th. 1955, Special Products Division is formed with Richard Krav, a manager. 1957, 8 pilot model Edsels produced. Like, this is super cool that it has all of these days marked. Here's May. Pretty rad. Check this out, June. And it also shows, like, who owns the cars. Like, where did they come from? Evan and Helen decided during early spring of 1959 that all the work and no play was becoming a bit much. So decided to use their savings to buy a new car and go on a 2-month camping trip in the lower 48 states with their 6 children. They purchased a 1959 Edsel Villager 9-passenger wagon from the dealer in Alaska. In Juneau, Alaska, they bought this. They bought it for $3,718. They toured much of the United States, Mexico, and Canada, accumulating over 11,000 miles. The car now has more than 236,000 miles on its odometer and will be driven to the Texas Edsel Owners Club Convention in 1984. How rad is that? Family wagon. Family wagon. I like this one has Chuck Malone posted up next to his. That'd be me. You want a picture of my car? Hold on. Let me lay on it. Let me lay on it first. So I thought that this one was really fun because it has a lot of really cool photos in it. It's got all of the information of the history of the car. This one's probably one of my favorites though, is December, because it's just an artistic concept. The above photo and the photo on the back cover, which is right here, were submitted by Lance Alfieri from Plainview, New York. Lance purchased these photos from a man from Michigan who had worked for Ford Motor Company. It would appear that these could have been styling for a new produced Edsel. Look how cool that is. I love how everything in the late 50s was super atomic, like everything was super spacey. That's one of my favorite times for automotive like styling and just anything. I love mid-century designs, but like in the late 50s, like from 56 to 59, the styling was just so tops for me, especially when it comes to automotive and car. So the last one that we're going to look at is the volume number 2 from summer of 1984, and this is the 16th annual Meetup Edsel Owners Club. Kind of like, it has tons of information about the actual meetup. It has like the nominees for the 84 through 86 at large national officers, and it shows like the vice presidents and the chapters. It has calendar events, but then it also has tons of like the bylaws that everybody has to follow. The membership in the club, dues of the club, like it has officers of the club and what they have to do. So it's just full of all this information about, you know, making sure that you keep it classy. But one of my favorite parts about this issue in particular is that in the very front they have the personality of the quarter, and it's Russell Rennick. And I just love this photo of him with his cake with the big E on it. Look how happy he is. Like, he's so proud. I'm proud of you too. And he's, check this out. Look at him in his, can you see him in his car? And he's got this hot babe in the back. Love it. Russell Rennick has always been interested in automobiles, but when the new Edsels were introduced, he never dreamed he would someday own one, or even more. He finally succumbed to the desire to drive something different. A Houston newspaper had an ad describing an Edsel for sale. Russell phoned the owner and arranged to meet him and the Edsel in Brookshire, halfway to Houston. I live outside of Houston. There he decided to buy the white and blue 58 Ranger two-door sedan. He later bought a 58 Corsair, then purchased an ember red and white 58 Pacer convertible in Tennessee, hometown of Dolly Parton. That's amazing. Russell's convertible is recognized by many Columbus folk and seen in most of the area parades. That's really rad. I absolutely love being able to see how many people, even though like you'll hear people talking shit about the Edsels and how it was the ugliest car and nobody cared about it, yada yada yada, and then you see stuff like this and how many people just passionately have loved and supported the Edsel. I really enjoy being able to see how many people, since, you know, Edsels came off of production and they went out of production, how many people for so many years have continued to appreciate them and lift them up and take care of them and keep them on the road. And it's looking back at all of this history of all of these people who shared this passion, that kept that passion alive, which ultimately led to me being able to be a part of it and me being able to embrace my passion, because all of these were done before I was even born, which is great. I know, you're just a youngin', I get it. But it's crazy because without people like this keeping these cars on the road and taking care of them and preserving them and appreciating them, I never would have gotten Ethel, and that would have been so heartbreaking. So the only other thing that I have are a lot of these really fun little mail outs that are called the Green Line, and they're like little news bulletins that they sent out what looks like every month, and they're really fun. They were, you could tell they were folded over and they were stapled and just mailed out. They still have the stamps on them and the post date from 1984, being mailed out of Richmond, Virginia to my man Jack, who owned Ethel for a good while and took care of her. But they're a lot of fun because they have lots of pictures, they have tons of information in them and stories in them and news articles. This one I thought was really interesting where it says the laughter has stopped. I'm going to be doing these on my Instagram. Calm down, sorry, that's my honus grabbing onto me. That's my old self. It just totally jealous of the fact that I'm talking about my car instead of like pinup fashion. Reaching out and touching me. Don't forget about it. If you guys want to see inside these, I'm going to be doing some reels on them and posting them on my Instagram. So if you guys want to check them out, make sure that you're following Ethel's Ethel the Edsels Instagram. That's a Ford Edsel Ranger. The links are all below. Make sure that you give us a like, you give us a follow, you share our content to help bring an awareness to how rad Edsels are, so we can keep that passion moving down the road, picking up passengers on the way. But thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of thumbing through this nostalgia with me and looking at the pictures. If you guys want me to do kind of more in-depths of these and post them, let me know in the comments. I would love to do some like actual videos of just the pages. You guys don't have to hear my voice. And I can share those so you can see them a little bit up close. But thanks for watching. Make sure that you are helping keep the radness that is an Edsel alive by supporting Edsel Nation all across the globe. Make sure you check out the Edsel Garage on Facebook because it's a really rad page with a lot of really cool Edsel owners in it. And until next time, I'm the doll talking about my favorite car in the whole wide world. I love your guys' faces, and I will see you next time. Bye.
And now for the moment I'm sure you've all been looking forward to. A look at the newest member of the Ford family of fine cars, the Edsel.